Well, it's a bright and sunny morning here in Sepang. Temperatures are still pretty cool by Malaysian standards here, as we're about to get the final 8 races of Hololive GT3's Championship Series underway. Anyways, everyone, welcome everyone to the famous Sepang circuit. We will be hosting the first of 2 races here in actually round 5 of the season, but it's actually round 1 of the 2025 Hololive GT3 Japan Series Zako Series. And we're here in Sepang for the Sepang 500. So without further ado, let's take a look into what Sepang circuit looks like. And as you can see here, we're looking at a track with a track length of 5.5 kilometers, 15 corners in total, 46 laps for the Zako Series drivers today. And looking at the target lap time, we might see a 1:39, but only if you're using an F-Follow car. Man, how did I make some information here? But anyways, target lap time are actually going to be set at 2:03.953. So hopefully everyone has been able to follow in the news. But anyways, if you haven't been informed, Murasaki Shion have announced her graduation from Hololive, which will be scheduled for April 26, 2025, which will be a week away. So this race essentially marks 1 week before Shion leaves Hololive. So this would mean that this will be the only race in the Zako series that Kizuhara Leo and Murasaki Shion will be participating, after which the Hol GT3 car will be retired. Hopefully we have solace for Kaicho, who has lost his Oshi. So yeah, it's also the first Zako Series weekend of the Hololive GT3 this year, as we're about to get the Zako Series race in Sepang, in the Sepang 500 underway. Of course, tomorrow we have the CO Series Sepang 500. That being said, let's take a look into the Zako Series drivers who will be participating in the Zako Series by virtue of them not finishing inside the top 9 or losing out in the wildcard spot. So we have returning drivers and new faces. One of the returning drivers is of course Lexi Bowen, who hops into the Shirogai Noel number 08 Lexus for the first time since late 2022. It will be a case of whether she will be able to adjust to her new ride or not. Then we have Callan Gibbons and Outson Tararao. Also joining in from Split A, Crystal Salmon, Jeff Rohan, Alex Gran also joining in, and a new face joins in the aero competitions today, and that will be Raymark Rosales for Shiranui Flair. Also joining the other Split A drivers, Kizuhara Leo and Kaminari Riba. Unfortunately for all of us who have heard the news, Kizuhara Leo will not be participating any further after this race. This will be Leo's last in Hololive GT3 before he will have to focus on next week, which will be a very bittersweet day for Leo, as he will have to say goodbye to Murasaki Shion on the day he races in one of the Hall type races next week. Also, there's Kamen Riba in Split A, but that will be the Split A drivers. Joining from Split B will be Jake Goodwin, Isekaijin Mikolev, Fumi in the renumbered number 36, Mohamed Cashew, Vladislav Damashnev, Hoshi Sonorio, Raiji Kaczynski, Masaraido, and Shango. And with that out of the way, we are going to do 2 things here. First of all, I would like to introduce myself to the commentary booth. My name is Mama Shazan Reza in the commentary booth, and we should have had Dag in the commentary booth, but he is currently busy with hosting his hang on, I'm just gonna double check, because I believe he's busy with the oh no, he is actually hosting the corporal car races coming in, the East and the West and East series coming up. So that out of the way, we are going to skip over into qualifying session as we're getting us acquainted to the session. So anyways, no cars out for now. Meanwhile, the current situation in corporal car for Dag, just wanted to remind everyone. We've already finished first races in round 7 of the West Series. in Mosport with Mischief.exe grabbing a pole and a win at the race in Mosport. East have actually finished racing with them already winning in with races already being done in Sepang and Ansan, with Imi Bisu winning in Sepang from pole position, with Kiri Kilovolt winning in Ansan. Race 8 of the West Series has yet to be concluded. We'll update you all in due course. So anyways, so we got Jeff Rohan and Crystal Salaman currently out on the racetrack after a disappointing qualifying session, essentially sending them off into the Zako in what may be the final Hololive GT3 season for the foreseeable future. We are checking if there are drivers who have completed their laps or not for us to check on their flying laps. So we got Jay Goodwin are about to get his time complete, but we may not see it from his perspective. We might see it from Lexi Bowen's perspective here. In her first race back in Hololive GT3 in over 2 years actually. Let's take a look into how Lexi Bowen sets up her lap. So you need to go for the late apex onto the main straight here in Sepang for you to start your flying lap. Lexi Bowen in the number 08 Shirogane Noel. Lexus. Into turn 1, brake at around just before the 100-meter board, as you're going to get yourself calm and steady into turn 2, first gear down there, and then put on the gas. But you need to be careful though, because this is also exit of turn 2, an easy play for you to lose your rear. Turn 3, you gotta hit the racing line so that you can go flat out, and then hit the 75-meter board as you come across turn 4. Very tricky corner. Also, you need to be careful with your throttle input so that you don't spin out your car. Turn 5, it's a bit flat. And then turn 6, slight dab on the brakes here. Might want to downshift into third gear for better turning. But now you're coming into the double apex right-hander, turn 7 and 8. Then a short blast into turn 9. Use the access road as reference for your braking zone into the slowest corner, one of the slowest corners of the track. First gear there. Turn 10. Make sure you nail your racing line so that you can go flat as well, and then straighten your car into the braking into turn 11 and then into turn 12. Might want to lift off just a bit because you can see here there's a little bit of lift, and then into turns 13 and 14 you brake and turn at the same time, but make sure you also try to get the best exit possible off this corner so that you can set yourself up for the back straight, almost 1 kilometer long. Full blast into the final corner, brake at a 100-meter board. Keep yourself nice and tidy in the braking zone, and then go for a late apex in the final corner, and that should be a lap here in Sepang. 205.298 for Lexi Bowen in her return, because the Salman does one better with a 202.931. Jeff Rohan 204.243. Project Zitsky responds with a 206.028. Calvin Gibbons only 206.732. Mikolev 202.931. The Hondas are absolutely showing up this race. First Nissans coming out on the track, and they're not going to be able to compete with the the Hondas, but they are going to come close with Fumi clocking in 4th. Ray Mark Rosales on his ARO debut for Shiranui Flair. He sets his Shiranui Flair Nissan up in 5th place. Shongo really wants to make it up for his disappointing qualifiers campaign in Hololive GT3. And we are going to see if he's at least going to be able to set up a 206. Shongo will qualify 7th at home. Alex Grant qualifies 3rd. We only got 4 minutes of the session to go as we're looking into Hojizono Rios' onboard. See where he lands on that with that number 18 IMA in this Lexus. Only 12th, but make it 13th with Masa Raido having a great qualifying session up into 4th place. Alson Tarao 8. Muhammad Cashew borrowing Gray Prowers' helmet as his helmet suddenly didn't function. It's been like that for a while. And speaking of which, here's a nice detail to look into. Christoph Salman and Isekaijin Mikolev, 2 Team Honda drivers in Gen 0, setting the exact same lap time. And Christoph Salman, due to him getting there first, has grabbed provisional pole by literally less than a thousandth of a second. What is this qualifying session? And of course, Mr. Salman has to perform in the second half of the season. He needed to perform in the studio. He needed to perform in qualifiers. Hang on. So Mr. Salman trying to see if he can improve on his lap. Um, 2 minutes to go, and never mind that, as we're looking into the rest of the drivers getting their runs in. Lexus cars are not enjoying this, neither does Shongo, so some of the front engine cars are not looking very hot here in Sepang, but they might be good for strategy. We'll have to wait and see how it goes from here. So we're just checking on Mikolev's lap, and we might not be seeing any improvements from Mikolev there. Looking into his previous laps, he has been pretty slow on the second sector. Not many of these drivers here have been able to improve on their laps, with the exception of Kizuhara Leo in his final qualifying session in the Hololive GT3 for Murasaki Shion. Right, so Kizuhara Leo looking to find some improvement, but he is only, she's only 0.08 of a second. Kizuhara Leo coming into turn 7 and 8. If you're looking back into the first sector, she has done pretty decently. Only 0.08 of a second lost. But we are gonna confirm to you if this qualifying session is the closest we have ever seen in any of our competitions, because we have not seen anyone be behind by less than thousandths of a second. And of course, Kizuhara Leo losing a full second on the second sector. So we have seen Hojizono Rio improve his lap. He's in 14th at the moment. Alson Tarao improves to get himself up into P6. We got qualifying done here in Sepang. Kizuhara Leo in the few sets of corner. And that's going to be Kizuhara Leo's qualifying session over. She will start no higher than 7th. Raymark Rosales on his debut in aero competitions will start 9th as it stands. But we'll see how this qualifying session will end. Crystal Salman is in the pits. Isekaijin Mikolev has now confirmed himself to also be in the pits as well. As it stands, Crystal Salman will grab a pole position for ASCII. Raymark Rosales almost there into the final and also we got to see Raymark Rosales exiting the final corner. Let's see how it goes from here. Vlasa Damashev also looking for slight improvement to get himself out of the 15th place. Damashev 12, Rohan 5th. Final 2 cars ready to get their laps finished. Alex Grant comes into the pits. He will not take any further part in qualifying. Shango will complete his lap. And it is gonna be official. Shango has moved up to 11th after his run. And confirmation to everyone. We have had the closest ever qualifying session in aero competitions. Right, so we need to take a slight breather after what has been a very tight qualifying session. Crystal Salman and Isekaijin Mikolev are only separated by less than a thousandth of a second. This will be in the record books. But anyways, in the starting 11, we are gonna run through the field here. So, okay. So, here we see Crystal Salman on pole position for ASCII. His first in the 24-25 season. So, Crystal Salman on pole position for ASCII. Isekaijin Mikolev second for Sakura Miko. Alex Grant third for Yuki Hanalami with Masaraido, the highest placed non-NSX driver. At 4th place for Todoroki Hajime. 5th place Jeff Rohan for Tokoyami Toa with Elson Tanarao, the first Nissan for Nekomata Kaiju. 7th is Kizuhara Leo in his final start for Murasaki Shion in Hololive GT3. Fumi will start 8th for Tokino Sora. Raymark Rosales in his aero debut will start 9th for Flair with Lexi Bowen 10th for Shirogane Noel. Noe Flair 9th and 10th. Shango starts 11th for Ichijo Ririka. 12th place goes to Jay Goodwin for Ookami Mio. And then we have the remaining Lexus drivers. Vlasa Damashev 13th for Aki Rose. 14th Raichi Kazuki for Suzuki Choco. Nakiri Ayame 15th for Nakiri Ayame. Shizuno Ryo starts 15th for Ayame. Kamnai Riba 16th for Shishiro Botan. Calum Gibbons 17th for Roboco. And 18th Muhammad Cashew for Tsunamaki Watame. So we are just going to get ourselves ready for the start. Get all of the camera shots ready as... Oh, yeah, the camera issue is still there, so... So we are going to get the start officially underway. We have Crystal Salman on pole position, as we mentioned, and then Isekaijin Mikolev alongside him in second. So, anyways, we are gonna get the stream finally underway. Have to deal with some administrative measures. So, anyways, we have Crystal Salman on pole position with Isekaijin Mikolev alongside him in second. Yeah. Anyways, we got Crystal Salman ready to start on pole position here for the Sepang 500 Zako Series race. 5 lights are on, and we are go! It's a very calm start there for Kizuhara Leo, though. He's had a decent start against Mikolev, but Mikolev is now alongside him as he has a better start. But Crystal Salman has the inside line, which will be to his advantage at least into turn 1. But if he's still alongside coming to turn 2, then there might be a problem, as we now have drivers trying to navigate into the first 2 corners. Some actually going 2 wide, or 3 wide actually. And it is actually going to still be a clean manner here. Alright, so Crystal Salman leads Mikolev, and then Alex ran in 3rd, Masaraido 4th, Rohan 5th, Leo 6th, Fumi 7th, and Tanaro 8th, Bowen 9th. Sean now goes up into the top 10. It's again, as usual, a frantic first lap here in Sepang in broad morning lights. And Salman now in control of this race from the lead. Mikolev trying to catch. Grant 3rd, Raido 4th, Rohan 5th. And Rohan goes down the inside of Masaraido, and Masaraido does it very well to defend. Meanwhile, there's a lot of 2 wide action further back for the Team Lexus cars. Riba and Gibbons going side by side. Goodwin and Rio as well. Kaczynski and Cashew. Racing action here. Rio is now trading blows with Jay Goodwin in 13th place. Raymond Rosales not having a great start here, but meanwhile we are seeing some potential racing action here in turn 14. Kamnai Riba trying to defend against Kaczynski, but he doesn't have a good exit to fall back on, and he's now under pressure. Side by side now goes Gibbons and Riba, or rather Kaczynski and Riba. Oh, and that's a side-by-side action still for Gibbons and Kaczynski. Kaczynski making a decent dive down into the inside here. Meanwhile, Raymond Rosales and Lexi Bowen now renewing the rekindled rivalry between the Noel and Flair cars. Of course, they have a working partnership together in Hololive, and now we get to see both of their representing drivers now going toe-to-toe between each other as Rosales now goes up into the top 10. Damashnev now trying to defend against Jake Goodwin. Meanwhile, Rosales stays in the inside. Will Rosales think of a dive to stay ahead? The inside line's not really a preferred line here in the exit of turn 4. Raymond Rosales may not have the inside line though. Lexi Bowen manages to defend. So Bowen now in 10th, Go 9th, and Chanarao 8th, Fumi 7th, Leo 6th. Leo having a very good, decent start though, gained 1 position from it. Meanwhile, Masaraido stay up in 5th. Meanwhile, get to see more side-by-side action as now Vlasa Damashnev have swamped Mark Rosales for 11th place. And here comes Hoshizono Ryodo now trying to cause trouble to Goodwin, as Goodwin now goes down the possibly the outside of Rosales. And now we got Rosales trying to get a good run on that straight. Remember, the VR38 DETT on that Nissan GTR has the most amount of horsepower. for some, and meanwhile that's the fastest lap 2:04.254, but that doesn't stop though Jay Goodwin from making a move down the inside. Jay Goodwin, the favorites to win the Zako Series title after finishing in the wildcard spot, but unfortunately losing out to Saturn by virtue of points earned, is looking to get some vengeance here against a rookie Raymark. Doing a decent job here at the moment. So we're now on lap 3, and the race field monitor will now be displayed here to remind you all on the drivers who will be pinning early and who will be pinning later. Shango will So anyways, Shango will be pinning pretty early in this race, so again, he will be the victim of a set of course as his pit stop AI. Rajazinski will be pinning earlier than most, but still later than Shango. Masaraido will be pitting in the mid stages of the race as well, well, in the second half at least. And Cal Gibbons will be going very, very long. Same goes for Nagasaki Kusama. Kusama will also be in the mid stages as well as Salman continues to bang fastest lap. Meanwhile, we got Goodwin against Raymark. So lap 4 in this race, and we have known about how these drivers will be dealing with the pit stop strategies. Now it will be a case on how these drivers will have this mentality going forward. Kizuhara Leo though not catching up to the rest of the field. Masaraido meanwhile having a very good run. He's now up in 5th place. I believe he has also been mired by bad luck in recent times. So we're gonna take a slight break, an impromptu toilet break of sorts, because I am having a pretty messed up stomach right now. But I'm still able to stream as Rosales and Domashnev trade places once again. This time it's gonna be Rosales going down the inside against Domashnev as he now tries to edge ahead. Alright, so Rosales now going down the inside again, once again to defend against the Mashnev, and that's a great defensive move. They're using the VR38 DTT to great effect. Okay, so we're gonna take a slight break, for a slight toilet break. Stay tuned and don't go anywhere. If you want to look at racing action, you might want to look into Rohan and Grant. So again, stay tuned and don't go anywhere. Alright, welcome back to Sepang. It's been a pretty quick toilet break. So anyways, we're just checking back onto the racing situation here. It's still Salman leading Mikolev, but now the gaps open up to 8 seconds. Let me see here. So Salman has now gone into the 203s. Isekaijin Mikolev now gets into the 204s. So you can see how much Salman is showing himself in Sepang. And this is very surprising. Remember that this is the same Kuso Salman that didn't perform last time out in Sepang. He finished outside points, for one. And the second part is that he hasn't been performing in qualifiers to the point where he doesn't even qualify, as Rosales has now overtaken Bowen for 10th place. As Bowen tries to catch up, it's now Rosales up in 10th place. Meanwhile, we got Cal Gibbons and Muhammad Cashew trading blows between each other as well. Back onto the racing scene here, and Tarao doing a very decent job in 8th place. If you look into the previous stats so far, if you look at the pole records here, the last time the ASCII car grabbed a pole position was Andrew Tacosland, actually, in the Suzuka East race. So this is actually Crystal Salaman's first ever pole position for ASCII. And yes, we are as surprised as you are about the development here. So this will be a momentous occasion as the ASCII team have finally celebrated their first pole position since 2022 and the first since switching origin idle outfits. So, anyways, we're just checking onto this new train here, cars that's forming by Kizuhara Leo, being able to defend against Fuu-My, and now Alcantara are chasing. And yes, if you notice that there are Total branding at the back, that is because the Bushy Road, we ran out of Bushy Road stickers, and we haven't been able to apply at the back of the car. Meanwhile, Bowen and the Mosnep now go side by side. Had been between turns 1 and 2, and it's now Bowen up into 12. No one has gone to pits just yet. Shango has yet to come into the pits. While we got Goodwin now overtaking Raymark Rosales, though. What an amazing back and forth here in the midfield. I noticed here. We got to see Rosales finding pace on that Chevrolet Flare Nissan, and then suddenly it's Jake Goodwin's turn. But anyways, let's take a look into the progress chart. Shango have gained 2 positions. Oh, and that is actually Shango locking up at turns 13 and 14, and that's going to see him lose more positions. Goodwin's now up into 9th. Raymark Rosales in 10th. The AMR doesn't have a lot of straight line speed, but it is going to try. And now Shango stays in the inside line of Raymark. So we are just looking back at Shango, who is running in 11. Meanwhile, got Casio and Gibbons still going side by side. Lots of action in turn 1 here, as expected from a track with amazing racing pedigree. As you see here, Gibbons goes down the inside, back into turn 2, but it's going to be Muhammad Casio that has to fall back. And Gibbons now is in 17th. Alright, so back on the racing scene here in Sepang. I've said that multiple times there actually. So anyways, we got viewers tuning in. If you enjoyed the stream, please remember to leave a like, and if you want to see more Hololive racing or any future content from us, you may subscribe to our channel for and if you really don't want to miss any of our future races coming up, especially for tomorrow where we'll be hosting 2 races, hit the notification bell if you really want to not miss a beat. Anyways, we got Demashnev and Rio and Bowen going up a position. That's mostly because Shango is now inside the pit lane. So we have Jeff Rohan now trying to catch up to Alex Grant. Shango is spending a decent amount of time in the pits. Looks like he will fill himself up with a full tank of fuel, and yes, he will. So this is actually going to be a one-stop strategy, but this one-stop strategy is going to be something that we haven't seen in a while. A full tank of fuel for Shango after just 10 laps. He's going to complete the rest of the race, 36 laps, on this tank of fuel. We'll see how the strategy will unfold, but it's going to be something very interesting to look into. It's all about a case of trying to manage your tires. Meanwhile, we got Goodwin and Charao, both drivers inside the Zako Series who are part of gamers. Steve Wimberly and Steve Wimberly and Osney Wizard in the studio. Of course, Osney Wizard has replaced Sean Pauli in the intervening period between Sean Pauli's shock retirement announcement and the driver shuffle that we've had. Mostly because in between Sean Pauli's announcement and the announcement for and the CO Series race, there's also the announcement that Gaogura is going to graduate from Hololive on May the 1st. Then that, of course, distressed Kawaja Masur, what was supposed to be the coordinate driver, to the point where he got the press. And no, depression is not a fun thing. Please contact your nearest loved ones or anyone that you can talk to. You're basically still needed in this world. But anyways, what is needed right now is some pace, and that is what Alcantara has as he continues to try to edge ahead, possibly against Jay Goodwin. But Jay Goodwin just has it's just that better on the corners here, especially at the tight sections at turn 2, which absolutely benefited the Honda NSX due to its shorter wheelbase. So Shango is gonna have to proceed as usual. He is his gap is now at 30 seconds behind his fellow rivals. Actually, he was running in 11th or 12th, so he is around 45 seconds behind Alexi Bowen, which is the pit stop site. Which is basically the pit stop, which is basically the amount of time lost during a pit stop. So this will be an interesting scene if Shango is able to bang in consistent laps. Meanwhile, Masaraido, this is not a Countach, it is a BMW M4. And then again, we could feel a Lambo Huracan in the near future, but I feel like this M4 is just well suited for Hajime. Of course, this livery is based on Hajime's regloss uniform. Man still in a good amount of control in this race. 10 seconds now ahead of Isekaijin Mikolev, looking for his third win in Hololive GT3. Decent amount of So Mikolev, 11 laps complete. He has a pretty illustrious career so far. Well, if you've won in aero competitions, you would be considered as having an illustrious career in the first place. So we're just gonna put Crystal Salaman and ASCII on the list. So it is gonna be double check here. Never mind that. So the gap's now open to 11 seconds. Salman on a will be pitting in the middle of the race. Isekaijin Mikolev will be pitting in the next 11 laps. So this is a net positive for Chris Salman, regardless, who has been in control of this race very sublimely of sorts. I'm surprised to see how well he has been able to perform in this race, especially given how shockingly he performed in qualifiers. This is at least something to smile about for the ASCII team. We're still on lap 13. When it comes to any potential racing activity, we're gonna have to see if there's gonna be any, as right now everyone is going single file and in control. Speaking of which, looking into Shango, he has actually closed down the gap between himself and Phu-My Cashew. The gap was at 30 seconds when he exited the pit lane. It's now dropped down to 28.3, so this is where Go must make use of his advantage, as he's essentially undercutting everyone else here to possibly grab a top 10 finish. Meanwhile, Hoshizuna Ryo trying to find his way ahead of Raijin Kaczynski. Meanwhile, Gibbons and Cashew once again trade blows between each other, and it's okay at the moment so far. Oh, you can see here it was a slight look in from Cashew, but it's just too far back. Can't risk an overtaking move that far out. So another few drivers that we need to pay attention to. Grant has now had a decent gap over Jeff Rohan. The Hondas are absolutely showing up here. Masaraido in 5th, Leo 6th, Fumi 7th. Speaking of which, in this season, the Hondas have actually had a decent... largely forgettable. Can I say it's largely forgettable? Because if you look into what we have seen so far in the qualifiers, Honda have only won, hear me out, 2 races oh, never mind, these are the pole records. Yes, Honda have only won a single race, and that came from Irene Nakamura in the Autopolis 400 split B race. And this has been a season where the Nissans have absolutely run the show with 5 wins in qualifiers, 5 wins in 8 qualifier races. Of course, Tyler Williams winning at Sugo, winning at Okayama actually, and Wilson Caraccio won at Sugo. And oh yeah, Tyler Williams also won at Sugo as well. Never mind. So both Caraccio and Williams have got 2 wins to make it. Actually, never mind. Never mind. It's the wrong season. It's still 5 wins in 8 races for Nissan. Tyler Williams only won in Sugo in this season so far. Caraccio won both Sugo and Okayama. And then coming into the end of qualifiers, there were 2 wins from Team Nissan and Fuji. Tomoyuki Aoki in her final race in Hololive GT3 for Takani Louis decided to bring home the win for the Louis Tomo before before bowing out of aero competitions to just because Tomoyuki Aoki just wanted to leave and Since then, Jace Kinsai has now been the replacement driver. Oh yeah, we also ran out of gold filament, so that's why the Nissan looked a bit different as well. So anyways, we still have Antarao on the charge, trying to get himself back into the top 5. And speaking of which, we also need to take a look into the race field monitor, who has been running pretty low. And right now the answer is Lexi Bowen and Hoshizuna Ryo, who will be pitting in the next 5 laps. Jeff Rohan currently in 4th place, trying to find his way against Alex Grant. Jay Goodwin in 8th, Fumi 7th, Raja Kaczynski 14th. Not much action to look into as we're now coming into the first third of the race. Coming into the end of the first third, 33% of the race done. Fumi did try to have a look into Leo, but he's just too far back as well. He's now lost a good amount of time. Goodwin also waiting. Goodwin also waiting in the wings. Salman doing again a very decent job on the ASCII Honda. Gaps now maintained though to 11 seconds, while the front two have edged ahead of Alex Grant by 18 seconds now. We're talking about the gap between Mikolev and Grant, by the way. Here's Fumi, doing pretty decently so far. And pattern that we're seeing here, the Lexus cars have now lost a lot of time against the Nissan, BMW, and Honda. And now we have Bowen and Rio now coming into the pits. Raja Kaczynski now in 12th, Domashnev in 11th. Anyways, lap 16, and it's Masaraido now trying to find his way against Jeff Rohan. Not much pick activity is going to be in here, as you now see Shango actually beating Hoshizuna Ryo and Lexi Bowen, but they will have tire advantage over Go, so it will be a case of whether or not Go is able to defend with his current condition of tires. And you can see here the Rido in the back straight hasn't been able to catch up to Jeff Rohan. The NSX though, doing a very good job in straight line speed. And you see here Masaraido already faster than Jeff Rohan, who is slower than Alex Grant. See where Rider's advantages are in this lap. As you can see here, he's already gained a lot of time in the first two sectors, so Masaraido has absolutely set up the car very well for low speed corners. Gonna check on Masaraido's on board, see how it looks from his point of view. Oh, that's a great exit though from Masaraido, but I think he's just too far back, so he has to back off. That's a decent exit, but I think he has messed up his run at exiting turn 8. So this will mean he has tried it, but he's just not close enough. So next driver is coming into the pits, and it's gonna be Jeff Rohan coming in. So when usually when you're about to come into the pits, the lap before you come into the pits, you are usually being told to go fast and be very quick before you finally get into the pits to change your tires and fill up your fuel tank. But right now, Rohan has not done a convincing, not done very convincingly to get himself away from Masaraido and ever closer to Jeff Rohan. I mean Alex Grant. So now we have Masaraido up into 4th place. Very great stuff. So will now be a question on whether or not Shango what will be the gap between Masaraido and Shango, given that both of them are actually, if you notice here, Goho has actually closed in way faster than you think. Actually, he has now come in at around and Masaraido, never mind, Jeff Rohan have now finally got out of his pit box. Shango is currently in turn 12. Roger Kaczynski now comes into the pits as well. Jeff Rohan will be in 12th place. Cashew just crossed the line. So Salman and Mikolev, Salman isn't finding any more inroads against Mikolev. Mikolev will be pitting earlier than Salman. Raymond Rosales has just been called into the pits. Pretty quite stream this, so we're just gonna focus on the progression of the race as usual. Masaraido now getting closer to Alex Red now, actually, I do notice. If you look at the previous gap, so it was around 2 seconds, but it's now dropped down to 1.2. So Masaraido on that Todoroki Hajime number 82, absolutely bringing in the goods. Right. So Raymond Rosales is now inside the pit lane right now. His car is being serviced. Cashew and Gibbons will be crossing the line to temporarily take their positions away from Rosales. Meanwhile, Roger Kaczynski is racing down the back straight alongside Shango, who have been caught up slightly by Rio and Bowen. Rosales has now gone out of the pits. He will be out of the pit exit. Roger Kaczynski is chasing, but I think Ray Mark should be able to stay out in 14th, 10 seconds ahead of Raijin. And now we have both Mikolev and Salman coming into pit at the same time. And looking into their fuel loads, they will come in. It will be fuel right until the end. This will give Alex Grant the lead. And looking into who beats who on pit lane, it will be Crystal Salman fully clear of Isekaijin Mikolev. Alex Grant will be leading his laps here in Sepang for the first time, I believe, since 2023. I believe. I haven't really logged into who led laps this season and the season prior or the season before that. But Alex Grant now leads for Yukihana Lamy. The Yukimin are absolutely excited about this outcome. Vlasta Domashnev now comes into the pits. You saw the reminders coming in. Meanwhile, we got Sean Go being overtaken by Hoshizano Rio. You saw that on the background at the exit of turn 15. Meanwhile, we got Krasinski and Domashnev now down the inside in turn 4. Oh, gets very close there. But again, we see here the outside line being king here. When if you want to come to defend your position at turn 4. And here comes Sean Go down the inside against Hoshizano Rio to get himself 16th again. Domashnev has exited ahead of Sean Go. And Hoshizano Rio, Lexi Bode will stay in 18th. Meanwhile, Jay Goodwin and Ho Fumi in a battle of their own between two drivers who have had prior successes. Well, more so towards Fumi than Goodwin, because Goodwin is has been driving this Ookami car and he hasn't been able to win. But then again, his predecessors have won in this car at this very track, though, 3 years ago in the 2022 Sepang races. Just checking in on the situation here. Masaraido also in a very realistic chance to win this race, but he just went too wide at turn 7 and turn 8, which will cost him. Cashew inside the pits now to get his car serviced. He will most likely exit at the back of the field. Masaraido is having a So we are just going to double check on a few things here. Still no one's watching the stream. Okay, there may be one, but that might just be me. But anyways, Goodwin now trying to chase Ho Fumi for 5th place. Fumi in this new number 36 car has done okay so far in this campaign. Of course, he was on the precipice of qualifying for the CEO at either Duciem or Goyena's expense, but he was Duciem overtake a car which essentially put Ho Fumi on the bubble, and he needed Duciem to also pass Goyena if he wanted to help Ho Fumi, but Goyena has been able to defend his point pecker on number 11 for him to qualify into the CEO. Anyways, Sean Go in the final points position right now because this is a Hololive GT3 500 year race, so this means one thing: the points will be spread across only the top 15 cars. But remember, I just want to remind everyone that Salman and Mikolev have already pitted. Grant and Rido have yet to pit. So we still have a few bits of strategy at play here. And speaking of pit stops, Alex Grant has been called into the pit, so this will give Masa Rido a chance to lead laps in Hololive GT3. So Alex Grant will be given the go to come in to serve his pit stop. His battle will not be with Salman, maybe Mikolev, but his battle will be with Jeff Rohan. Jeff Rohan right now is in turn 9. Alex Grant now coming into the pits as we speak. So we are now going to see how Jeff Rohan deals with the situation. He's now at turn 11. So Alex Grant currently in the pit stops right now, trying to get his car serviced. And it will be him peeling in. So we're gonna see how Rohan manages to deal with this as Rohan now comes into the back of the Shishiro Botan. Number 43, that's a very great run there from the turn 14 there from Rohan as he now goes down the inside against Reba. Reba has yet to make a pit stop, and Rohan have already made a pit stop. Alex Grant has gone out as both Reba and Rohan go side by side. And it's going to be Rohan now ahead of Alex Grant as they're still going side by side. The Towa and Botan cars, 2/3 of Pebot, now on lock horns between each other, and it's now going to be Rohan being the apex predator amongst the two. Almost coming in to the halfway stage of this race, and we still have a long way to go before we can consider the Zako Series race as official. Jeff Rohan now 14 seconds behind his rival Isekaijin Mikolev, who had been running in second. Meanwhile, Mikolev and Antanarao are on a battle on their own as well. Antanarao also yet to pit in this race. Hofumi and Kaminai Riba are currently being called into the pit lane to have their car serviced. Masaraido enjoying his lead as while it lasts. So we're just gonna check on the situation here. Goodwin now ahead of Fumi. That's mostly because Fumi has now come into the pits. Joining him will be coming in Riba as he will be peeling in right about now. Oh, big jump into pit road here. Pit lane. Masaraido only 11 seconds ahead of Crystal Salman. Salman has already pitted. Raido has yet to make a pit stop. Jay Goodwin on the hunt, but he's just too far back. Kizaru Leo though is going to be enjoying this time. It's going to be scenery for him to remember, even though he has 10 laps of field to go. Running in a podium position in your home race, also in a race where you it's essentially your final race in the series because your Oshi is going to graduate. Leah is going to have her heads up high and her fists up in the air with pride as this violet energy continues to resonate even when we're coming into the final stages of this ride being active. Meanwhile, Kaminari Reba has been overtaken by Shango round the outside. Oh, contact between the two. Shango leaving nothing between himself and Reba as he defends 14th place. And now Rio's under pressure from Reba. Alexis Bowen has also looking into a position where she's able to overtake herself. Hoshizano Rio in 16th. Hoshizano Rio now going down the inside of Reba. So 25 laps complete, and Antanarao has now been the driver to come into the pits. He is going to take some time here. Gibbons have now exited the final corner. This may be his rival to beat, as Antanarao now comes in to exit his pit box. As Antanarao actually gets beaten by Cal Gibbons. So Antanarao will stay in 10th. He is also overtaken by Fumi while he's at it as well. But Antanarao should be happy that he's going to get a very good result. If you look into the drivers who have made pit stops and those who have yet to, Antanarao has a great chance to stay ahead of Gibbons, as well as potentially Jay Goodwin and Kizaru Leo for him to at least get up into 8th. If not for the fact that his tires are very much fresh, that he should be able to attack. Oh yeah, a bit of a update in the West Series. Kai Saikota has won in Roebling Road, which now puts her in the championship lead over Triggerfish and Maifei, who at 231 and 230 points respectively. In the East Series, it's going to be Amoria at 281 points with Kiri Kilovolt at 264 points. Two drivers are tied for 3rd place with Mesmerizing and Roa Arctos. Both of the VTubers in 3rd place representing V and U. With Kiri Kilovolt the only Globi inside the top 3. Never mind, just a slight look into the situation here between Goodwin and Mikolev, who have done a very good job in the qualifiers, but not enough to get themselves into the CEO. If you look at Goodwin, Goodwin actually did not make the CEO by virtue of him being he was in a tiebreaker position, so he lost up to Sarian by amount of points earned. Isekaijin Mikolev was outside of the tiebreaker cutoff line by 11 points, so nice to see them actually showcasing their skill here on the racetrack as Rio now exits is ahead of Kaminari Reba. Masaraido will now be called into the pits, and what a gap he has built though to Crystal Salman. Masaraido is having is now a series contender to at least finish maybe on the podium position with this drive. Well, it came a bit too late for him, but at the very least he now shows everyone what he can do with that Todoroki Hajime number 82. So Masaraido will be losing a lot of positions right now, but he will have slight tire advantage. He is actually not far behind Mikolev and Goodwin, so a podium is going to be on the cards. Jeff Rohan, meanwhile, is going to be in 6th after the undercut strategy. This undercut strategy hasn't been giving him the bonus that he needs. Go, meanwhile, is defending for all his life against 3 Lexus cars, absolutely hounding the back of Sean Go. Hoshinono Rio coming at Riba, now side by side between each other, exiting turn 14. And it's going to be Hoshinono Rio going down the inside. It's going to be Riba on the outside, and it's going to be Rio on the final points. But not before Riba responds with a very great exit. And meanwhile, in all of this, Lexi Bowen is just going to be watching from the background. And she's going to think, oh man, they're going to be using up their tires. If they use up their tires, I'm going to absolutely hound them once again. As Kaminari Riba now goes down the inside against Rio in turn 1. But Rio will still be alongside into turn 2. And that's going to open the door for Riba to be under pressure now against Lexi Bowen, as Rio now has 15th. Rohan not far against Raido. Mikolev not far against Goodwin on this Saturday morning here in Sepang, in the Sepang 500 Zako Series race. The first of 4 Zako Series races in the 2025 Hololive GT3 Japan Series 3 Zako phase. Salman now sets a 2:04.029. Remember that Salman has already made his pit stop, so he's Gucci for the rest of this race. And Jeff Rohan now goes down the inside of Masaraido. Lots of racing action in the mid stage. Whew, very great stuff here if you are a neutral, but if you're a Todoroki, if you're a fan of Bancho, then you're gonna be slightly tensed up, as you're gonna see the car that represents your Oshi get overtaken by the TMT car. Oh well, no, actually we're gonna start mentioning TMT. Towa's request for us to no longer mention TMT. But anyways, the Towa number 10 is now back up into 5th place. Rio is going to find a way past Go one way or another. Riba, having a very poor exit off of turn 14, is going to be under pressure from Lexi Bowen. Lexi Bowen is going to be relishing this moment. What a blast from the past that she is experiencing right now, battling with various cars back in 2022 on this very track. Whew. So Masaraido currently in 6th place, and now we have Hofumi and Cal Gibbons now trading blows between each other. Gibbons have yet to make a pit stop. Hofumi has already made a pit stop. He is faster in the corners than Gibbons, who is currently struggling with tire wear. Now it's going to be a case of how close Gibbons can be at the exit of turn 14 for him to make a move. Meanwhile, Alson Sanarao is also going to be someone who is absolutely waiting for any opportunity to open up in front so that he can make a pass for himself. Into turn 9, into turn 10. Alex Grant now trying to make himself seen by Masaraido. Masaraido, though, meanwhile, is gonna stay around the outside. Kizora Leo makes her pit stop, possibly her last pit stop in Hololive GT3, as she now has to relinquish 2nd place, which has been the place where she has been seen before. although she has won actually in Sepang 3 years ago. Fuu-My has been trying to get close to Callum Gibbons. He does get close, but no overtakes done so far. There's already damage on the right side of that number 36 Nissan. And now Fuu-My is going to try again. On board at number 1, or rather the number 36. And now it's going to be easy pickings for Fuu-My to make a move. But will Callum Gibbons think of a dive bomb? The answer is going to be no. And now Alcantara will be the next driver who will be picking on Callum Gibbons as he continues to struggle with tire wear. Meanwhile, the battle at the back of the field continues to be absolutely wild. And speaking of Crystal Salaman's lead, Muhammad Cashew is in the main straight. Kyle Salman is in the back straight. Salman will be good until the end of the race. Jake Goodwin will be pitting in the next lap. This will be the decider whether or not he will be out in 7th or 8th. Callum Gibbons running very decently so far in 9, but he will have to make a pit stop soon. Oh, there he goes, down the inside, and Tara against Gibbons. Ooh! Gibbons having a cleaner line at the exit of turn 9 allows him to stay ahead, but for how much longer can he sustain this amount of pressure from Antanarao, who is currently having renewed hopes in his number 5 Nekomata Kayu team. After in Hololive GT3 he scored no points in qualifiers. He has been mediocre in the Zako Series, and now in his final few races for Nekomata Kayu in Hololive GT3, he still has something left in the tank. Goodwin in the pits. This will mean Leo might just be able to catch as she's now possibly going to take 6th place. Goodwin has yet to exit the pits. Cal Gibbons finally comes in. Goodwin not out of the woods yet. This race has been very kind to the undercutters. Gong Shanggup, who was running at the back of the field, is now currently inside the points. Goodwin will be in 9th, Gibbons 10th, and Tanarao up in 8th, Fumi 7th, and Leo 6th. And with that, everyone have now made at least one pit stop, so we will be showing you the progress chart as we've seen here. Jay Goodwin has done a pretty decent job to where he started. He started in 12th, he's now in 9th. Meanwhile, we're seeing Cal Gibbons continue to fall down the order. He will be down in 17th. There's Muhammad Cashew. And there's a good chance Gibbons will be overtaken by Cashew. Meanwhile, we got Bowen and Ribba toe-to-toe between each other. Just wanted to check if there are issues with other cars. Right now, there's none so far. Gibbons and Cashew at serious risk of being lapped. 17 laps to go. Make that 16. So Masaraido have done a very decent job here on the last lap. He set a 2:03, and so right now he has a fringe chance, though, actually, of getting into 2nd place, which will be his best ever result in aero competition up to this point. I believe he has yet to score a podium for Todoroki Hajime. So we are just checking. Oh my goodness. So we're now at 30 laps complete. Reba and Bowen continuing to have a good battle between each other as the Botan 43 against the Lowell 08. Again, straight blows between each other. Predator versus Prey. The Knight versus the Sniper of sorts. But anyways, Bowen now goes in on the inside, tries to shove Reba out of the points, but Bowen is gonna keep herself at tabs with Reba, but has not been using the right line, so Bowen will have to settle for 16th at the moment. 205.4 for Salaman, and Maserado setting 203s will mean a potential upset if Rido manages to claw back the gap he has against Isekaijin Mikolev and Kusama, and now Maserado setting a 202.943. Not being good, not having good on race pace, but his race pace has been very amazing though. Maserado being one of the only few proper Japanese drivers in aero competitions, he has expressed his gratitude for being allowed to represent Hololive VTuber in aero competitions. He has actually had a renaissance of sorts, because he also participated in the Split B race in the Colorized Harmony Grand Prix, or well, Colorized Harmony Fuji 5 Hour Split B race, and he finished inside 8th. So right now it's been looking up for the Todoroki Hajime number 82. Meanwhile, Reba and Bowen trade blows once again. It's now Reba back in 15th. So many backs and forths at this point. Nah. As you can see here, Bowen tries to make a move down the inside once again, but just hasn't been close enough to actually mount a charge. Meanwhile, Damashev and Rio also going into it side by side at turns 5. Rio very clean into turn 5. Damashev has no response at turn 6. Kaczynski is still the best Lexus car right now. He is running at 11th. It's Nene 204 for Salaman, 205 for Salaman as well. Mikolev 202, but now Rido's gonna go into the norm. He will set a 205. Everyone's gonna be setting a 205. With 14 laps to go, this will be interesting to see how it goes from here. Alex Grant in 5th, Reba 15th, Bowen 16th. And now Bowen now really trying to hound the back of Reba, as they're both stuck behind a slow Shango. Doing a pretty good job though, all things considered, since Shango started near the back of the field. Still trying to find some pace on that Aston Martin. Meanwhile, Maserado has been the driver to beat here in the number 82 Todoroki Hajime machine, the BMW M4 that he is currently driving. So we still have a few ways to go in this race. Isekaijin Mikolev still 17 seconds behind Crystal Salaman, looking for his 3rd win in the Hololive GT3. Another unexpected performance from Crystal Salaman, given that he should have been in the studio in the first place to begin with. But now he has to salvage what he has left. He has to, at the very least, target a Zako Series win to at least console the pioneers who have been distraught by the news about Salamanca's failure to qualify for the CO. Then again, Aski is largely non-committal to the Origin outfits anyway, so... And that's Kaminari Riba! Oh! That is a massive contact. And it looks to me that it happened right outside of turn 7 and 8. And it looks to me that there has been a collision. We're gonna temporarily check the replays to see what happened to Kaminari Riba, as this bad season has now gone from bad to worse. And it just gets even worse. And as you can see here, look at the replays. And as you can see here, it's going to be, that's going to be nasty though, it is true. Yeah. No, wait, no, it's actually Shango. Oh! Ooh, that was very nasty. Let's hit the rewind button, see how it goes from here. So it actually comes from Shango actually going off wide and rejoining the track. I didn't realize that Kaminari Riba was in the way. I don't know, it looks like a racing incident to me, because Shango, while he went off unsighted, here's onboard Kaminari Riba. And then Kaminari Riba tried to go down the inside, but at the same time, Lexi Bowen was already on the inside trying to make a move against Riba. Nowhere to go between anyone. Looks like it's just a freak incident. Oh, whoopsie, I accidentally went into the pit window, so I might have to adjust the cameras a bit. So, well, you might need to give us some time to adjust the AC screen. Alright, so apologies if the thing is zoomed in, because I really cannot move the penalty screen up there for the next 20 minutes or so. So you might have to bear with this lineup so far. Ooh, crazy accident so far, but for now... Saman still in great amount of control so far, and Isasho, I also noticed that Hoshizono Rio and Lexi Bowen have also come into the pits as well. Looks to me that Riba will not take any further part. Rio and Bowen will make their second pit stop. Bowen primarily to repair the damage, but Shango meanwhile is doing very well despite having a battered right side on the car. So not the debut, not the return that Bowen has been looking for, as she has now dropped down a lap. Meanwhile, Masaraido's gap to Isekaijin Mikolev have now shrunk further and further. So Isekaijin Mikolev currently in his own race. Salman also in his own race right now. Alice Grant meanwhile catching up to Jeff Rohan for the battle for P4. Kizora Leo staying very decently in 6th place. Just staying where she needs to stay. Meanwhile, Alice Grant trying to chase out Jeff Rohan. Bowen now condemned to be in last place. Rido doing the best of his power to catch up at least to Mikola to bring home his best ever finish. in this Fly number 82 machine. Of course, Hajime herself has acknowledged the existence of this machine. And right now, Maserati has been using this as motivation to improve himself on the racetrack. This BMW M4 has what it takes. Gaps to Mikolev, 204.504 for his previous lap, 204.786 for Maserati. Both have stagnated, so nothing given to the two. Lexi Bowen have now gone a lap down. Who else has gone a lap down? It's going to be Hojizono Rio, who have also gone a lap down as well. Chris Salman. Previously in Sepang, he was outside the points in the CO series, but now he is going to make a statement to, at the very least, bring home the Zako. He will not be crowned as the Hololive GT3 champion at the end of the season, but at least he will be the Zako Series champion if he can string in results like these week in and week out in the next 3 races. Lap 36, 35 laps complete. Alex Grant, meanwhile, trying to make chase towards Jeff Rohan, who is running 4th. The Honda party is currently disrupted by one single regloss car, and that is Maserati in car number 82 in this BMW M4. Meanwhile, Raj Kaczynski doing pretty decently as the best Lexus car, trying to find a way past Raymark Rosales on his debut race for Chernobyl Flair. Oh, and that's a bad exit though for Raymark Rosales. That's going to open the door for Raj Kaczynski to possibly pounce in on the opportunity. But Rosales manages to keep himself composed, and that's not a good exit he's looking for. And that's also not a good exit that Kaczynski's been looking for. Both of them are going to come out in a stalemate. Crazy stuff. Anyways, Alex Grant trying to make his move against Jeff Rohan for 4th place. Both of them are equal in pace, but Grant wants to have a go at it. Raj Kaczynski in 11th, trying to find a way past Raymark Rosales for 10th place. Alex Grant in 5th, trying to find a way past Rohan, as we mentioned earlier. Yeah, this thing isn't gonna go away, the penalty screen. So again, excuse the slightly zoomed in footage. Around 10 laps to go here in the Sepang 500 Zako Series race, and Chris Salman has done what he needs to do to put himself in a very good position coming to the next 3 races. Usually the winner is decided with around at least 400 points, and if Salman can win again in Yeongnam and have a decent job at Motegi, then he will be able to lock up the title with 1 race to go. That is the current situation here in a 4-race Hall GT3 season, in a 4-race Hall GT3 phase. But it's qualifiers or CO Zako. They both work the same, so. Okay, so Kaczynski now trying to hit his luck against Raymark Rosales once again. He needs to pounce on the corners here where the Nissans are absolutely going to struggle. So again, we're going to open up a Q&A. So we're gonna open the questioning part of the stream. If you have any questions, please let me know. We'll try to make things work. And as you can see here, So Byung-eun, or rather Ray Marzales, though, now trying to defend against Kaczynski, but Kaczynski is absolutely making sure he's not comfortable. Cashew, meanwhile, trying to find a way against Sean Go. A little bit slow there on that section here, and that's not going to do himself any favors against Gibbons. And Tanara 1.6 seconds behind Ho Fu-Mi. Alex Grant still trying to find a way against Rohan into turn 7 and 8. Masaraido in third place, trying to find a way against Mikolev. On board as we're about to conclude the Sepang 500 Zako Series race. Raido's gonna need a great exit if he wants to challenge himself for second place, and right now this exit's not gonna do him any favors. I do notice though that the braking for this BMW M4 is slightly earlier than other cars, so he's absolutely gunning for cornering stability. Rider is faster than Mikolev on the last lap, and that allows him to absolutely close in. But the fact that Mikolev is only 50 seconds behind Salman just shows you how good of a job Salman has done so far. But he has a problem though. 8 laps to go, and he is now going to be dealing with lap cars, starting from Callum Gibbons, Muhammad Cashew, and Sean Go. And if he doesn't navigate this properly, he's going to be in the tire wall. He's going to either be in the Armco, or whatever the case is, he might end up being worse off. But now we're going to see 2 Gen 0 cars go at it between each other as Callum Gibbons tries to dice his way forcefully against both Callum Gibbons and Muhammad Cashew. What aggressive driving that has been from Salman as he now tries to clear himself against Cashew, but Cashew tries to give him trouble. Doesn't seem to face Salman though. Amazing stuff from the ASCII driver as he absolutely have done an amazing job trying to cut his way to lap traffic. His next challenge will of course have to be Shango running in 13th. They are not on the same lap. So Salman has every reason to clear Shango, and Shango have no reason to fight him. As Shango now peels down the inside to give Salman an opening for the win. Nine laps complete, 7 laps to go in the Sepang 500 Zako Cup race. Zako Series race. We still have a few more to look into. And Chanara finding a way against Ho Fu-Mi to at least bring home 7th. And speaking of which, Hajime no Ippo, performed by Tokino Sora and ASCII, back in September of last year. Both used the Origin Idol outfits. Well, it's contrasting fortunes at the very least here for the participating drivers, Ho Fu-Mi and Crystal Salman. Crystal Salman way up in the lead. The gaps drop down though. Meanwhile, Masaraido isn't going to give up on his pursuit for the second place against Salman. Salman have now cleared both of the all three of the lap cars for him to essentially be almost through for the win. And Raymark Rosales also comes into the pit. I don't think the pit crew told him he doesn't have enough fuel, and that's going to open the door for Sean Go and Count Gibbons to essentially take 12th place away from Raymark. Or Raymark might have one final charge in him. Who knows? Oh, and that's Raymark Rosales coming out. Crystal Salman has been cleared. Here's Sean Go. Here are the two Lexus cars, and it's going to be a Raymark behind both Gibbons and Cashew. But he will have fresh tires, and he will be in a position to at least take fastest lap. And that's a pretty slow exit as Cashew and Gibbons try to go side by side. And Taro now getting very close though to Fuu-My. Alex Grant getting close to Jeff Rohan. Masaraido getting close to Isekaijin Mikolev. 4 different battles on 4 different points of 4 different parts of the racetrack here in Sepang. And Cal Gibbons now tries his luck against Sean Go, but he's gonna be at risk of going wide. And it's gonna open the door for Raymark Rosales and Hoshino Rio to possibly take the opportunity. Here comes. Oh, that's Sean Go with a poor exit off of turn 8. And that's going to open the door for Count Gibbons to take 12th. Sean Go is going to have to stay on the outside line, inside line. That's not going to benefit him at the slightest, because that's going to only benefit Count Gibbons, who has a cleaner run at turn 9. Gibbons now up into 12, go down in 13th once again. He's going to be at risk of going down to 14th with Raymark Rosales hunting him down. Alex Grant and Jeff Rohan, their fates remain intertwined, and their fates remain in a deadlock. Masaraido still trying to find a way past Mikolev, but still nothing coming off of it. Oh, and that's Raymark Rosales now coming down the inside of his fellow Bakatari teammate, as Rosales is going to try to use a straight line speed to outpace the Lexus RCF driven by Mohamed Cashew on that number 3 Tsunomaki Watame car. But we'll see about how Raymark can stay on the outside to turn 1, because it will be the inside line, turn 2 by will be the outside line, turn 3 once again, and that is actually Sean Go going off wide at turn 1. And that's gonna cause headaches for both Rosales and Cashew. Raymark Rosales still Rosales have now at the very least secured 14th place. Sean Go stays in 13th, but for now it's gonna be Hoshino Rio and Mohamed Cashew also trading blows between each other, as Isekaijin Mikolev and Masaraido also get caught up in the mix. No problems for Crystal Salman. So far, so good. And here comes Mohamed Cashew. Here comes a 3-wide battle here. That's Cashew. And that's contact between him. And that's going to be him out of race, but he might just be able to save it. Almost collects Masaraido. Frantic final laps here in Sepang. As Hoshino Rio is going to try to make a move against Sean Go. Mistake after mistake. Means he is now being found wanting, but he is trying his absolute best to stay where he is right now. Hoshino Rio and Sean Go now battle for 14th place, and Isekaijin Mikolev is going to try to find a way to defend. Masaraido now hot on the heels. Mohamed Cashew now out of the points. Oh, trying to go for that exit, but the exit's not been beneficial to him. But Mikolev might have an opportunity to get past Hoshino Rio. Now Rio's gonna have to fend off Mikolev, but Mikolev has actually cleared Hoshizano Rio. This might be his gateway to second place to make it in all Honda Gen 0 1-2. We still got 4 laps to go, and Masarudo have now just cleared Hoshizano Rio as well. Mikolev's gonna go down the inside against Shango, who might, and he has actually locked himself up once again. He's gone off wide, and that actually means, and he gets made contact as a result. He tries to get himself back on the track. A bad race gone to the almost terrible circumstances for the Ririca driver. Oof. Could be worse, and it can get worse. It's just a matter of when at this point for Go. Cashew now back into the points. Still nothing separating between them, as Mikolev now has cleared all of the lap cars except Raymond Rosales and Callum Gibbons, who have peeled away from ensuing battles between Rio, Cashew, and Go. We still have 4 laps to go. There's a Salman in what has been a complete control to him, even though he has to concede a few laps. He doesn't have the fastest lap. He's not going for the Grand Slam. He's not going to go for the treble. But he is going to go home with a convincing win in the Zako Series to at least console him throughout the remainder of the Hololive GT3 season. Goodwin and Fumi, meanwhile, ooh, almost close, and meanwhile Goodwin has been overtaken by Goodwin has overtaken Alton Tarao. Masarudo once again trying his luck against Isekaijin Mikolev, as he's now gonna get himself closer to the lap car of Mark Rosales. So everyone at the back down up to 12 has been lapped. Kaczynski's gonna bring home a top 10. Meanwhile, Lexi Bowen trying to find herself a way against Shango, who has absolutely lost his tires. Far from the composure, of course, as Lexi Bowen now tries to find a way past the stricken Shango with damage as well, in addition to the tires. Jeff Rowe and Alex Gren in the background. Still, a few ways to go here before we finally conclude the Sepang 500 Zako Series race. Which Lexi Bowen now trying her luck against Shango for the silver spoon, and that she has been able to do. Salman still in control. Mikolev still in second. Masarudo in third. Jay Goodwin, though, meanwhile trying to edge his way against Fumi for 7th place, and Taro will still be happy for a top 10 finish. Penultimate lap here in the Sepang 500 Zako Series race. Masarudo is basic. Masarudo only has 2 laps to make a last lap pass. Same goes for Alex Grant and Jeff Rohan. Goodwin has also over 2 laps to go before he can before the race is finished, for his chance to get up to 7th. Or 10 separate between Masarudo and Isekaijin Mikolev. Maseraido has a very, very stable package there on that BMW M4. Meanwhile, against Mikolev's NSX, who has been twitching for control, but right now he's managing himself very well. He's going to have a good exit though, Maseraido. Will he make a move down the inside though, Maseraido? Will he die down the inside? Oh, yes, he does. Forces Mikolev off wide. And it's going to be Rido staying in the inside line. Who's going to outbrake themselves into the hairpin turn, not exactly hairpin, but turn 9. Maseraido still is going to go side by side, but he has the preferred line. He will get up into second place. What a move there on the penultimate lap for Maseraido to get himself up into second. Because Salman has no lap traffic to worry about. All he needs to do is to bring the ASCII number 12 Honda to the finish line. And he will be remembered amongst the pioneers. When it comes to race records, you will be hard-pressed to find anyone with around 3 wins. Because Salman will be likely to join his fellow Gen 0 compatriot Fhu-My, Tokino Sora, that is. ASCII will join Tokino Sora with having 3 or more wins. Salman will be joining in great company with Fhu-My with having 3 or more wins as well. Alongside Callum Gibbons in the Callum Gibbons for Roboco. Alongside this, well, if you look into the history, 4 of the 5 Gen 5, 4 of the 5 of the Gen 0 Hololive VTubers, which is essentially Tokino Sora, Roboco, ASCII, and Hoshimachi Suisei, and that is if Salman wins this race, have won at least 3 races. Salman wants to make this a fact. Of course, the Sakura Miko ride has to also be there as well. And as you can see here, Salman has done almost no wrong in trying to make this race a success for the pioneers watching on their screen. As I'm just gonna have to readjust the OBS thingy. Alright, so we're back onto full screen here. Let's welcome the driver that pioneers the way for the pioneers. The driver that brings success finally to the ASCII stable. As Rohan stays ahead of Alex Grant, Maseraido locks in second against Mikolev. And no positions being swapped in whatsoever. Salman has one more corner. He's driving as if his life depends on it. Coming into the final corner, Salman has done no wrong. He has absolutely hit the mark when it comes to guessing where he will be winning next. He may say here that he will be winning in Sepang, and he gets it right. He guesses it right. He crosses the line. Twister Salman wins the Sepang 500 Zako Series race. And we have a final lap overtake between Jay Goodwin and Fhu-My. Scratch that fact before Crystal Salman has crossed the line, as Jay Goodwin brings home 7th. But he has to field more laps to cover. Maseraido finishes an amazing second place to kick off the Zako Series campaign for Todoroki Hajime. Isekaijin Mikolev will have to settle for 3rd. And what a drive for Maseraido to disrupt the duopoly of the Honda Gen 0 cars. Jay Goodwin, meanwhile, climbs up from 12th to 7th. Gibbons from 17th to 12th. Still have a few more cars waiting to cross the line. 5 cars to be exact. Domashnev 11, Gibbons 12, Raymar Rosales on his debut 13th, Rio 14, Cashew 15, Bowen 16, Go 17, and Ribber 18th. Goodwin finishes 7th, Fhu-My 8th, Antara 9th, Kaczynski 10th, Domashnev 11th, as these will be the final drivers who will be crossing the line. And as we have a lot of stuff, the Mashnav crossing the line, we will be reporting you all on the race results. Crystal Salman, congratulations to him for winning the Sepang 500 Zako Series race. And we still have a few more things to report here as everyone else crosses the line. Also, we want to highlight Masaraido's amazing run to get himself into second place. He will be up there in the championship fight if he can stay up there in form and consistency. Isekaijin Mikolev has to be fuming that his second place became a third, but Masaraido is just too quick in the final stages, and that's when it mattered. So can't really be too mad about that. And then fourth place, Jeff Rohan for Tokoyami Toa. Amazing run for him to hold off Alex Grant in fifth place. And here comes the driver that we all want to pay attention to. Take a bow to Kizaru Leo in his final Hololive GT3 start for Murasaki Shion. She finishes in sixth place to send off what has been an amazing stint for Murasaki Shion in Hololive GT3. We'll be waiting for more races for Shion as the next races next week will be the last for Murasaki Shion as an active VTuber. That will be for the Split A race, on which we will confirm to everyone about Kizaru Leo's status as an invitational driver. Jay Goodwin finishes 7th for Ookami Mio. Not a great start for the guy first in the Zako. Hofumi 8th in the Tokino Sora number 36. We could have had better debuts, and meanwhile Antara manages to salvage a 9th place after all that great stuff. And after all this, Raj Gazinski is the first Lexus car and the only Lexus car in this race to finish inside the top 10. And so 11th place, we are going to be running up the rest of the field. Last of the Mashev in 11th. Not before we want to have to report finishes. Well, no points for Reba, Shango, and Lexi Bowen. The return not bearing fruit for Bowen so far. Callum Gibbons finishes in 12th. 13th place, Ray Mark Rosales on his debut for Shiranui Flair. 14th for Shizuno Rio. And 15th place is Mohamed Cashew. So we're going to do some replay saving before we report in on the championship standings. And we are just going to check if the results are going to officially be recorded, and the answer is going to be yes. So with that out of the way, we are going to be sharing with you all the championship standings coming after the first race of the season. We have Crystal Salman now in the championship lead, and what a showing from the Hondas. The top 7, with the exception of Masaraido, being taken by Honda NSX drivers. Amazing stuff from for Crystal Salman to kick off the Zako Series campaign. Masaraido has done very well to disrupt Stronghold, but will it be enough in the next 3 races? As we now come into Yeongnam, Kizaru Leo will take no further part in Hololive GT3 from this point on, as the Murasaki Shion number 8 Honda will now be retired immediately. Meanwhile, the rest of the field, Nissans are doing pretty good on a 3-car setup. Lexus cars and a Soul Aston Martin not showing up so far. So it might be something that we need to pay attention to in the coming races. Will there be changes to the Lexus cars to make them more competitive? We'll have to wait and see in Yeongnam around June. So you can take your time to read your points here. Because Salman first, Raido second, Mikolev third, Rohan 4th, Grant 5th, Leo 6th, Goodwin 7th, Fumi 8th, Antana round 9, Kaczynski 10th, Domashev 11th, Gibbons 12th, Raymond Rosales 13th, Hoshizano Rio 14th, Casio 15th, Lexi Bowen, Lexi Bowen 16th, Shango 17th, and Kaminari Reba 18th and last. So with that out of the way, we are just going to thank everyone for your commitments to the stream. We enjoy everyone being able to watch the stream as usual. We'll see you tomorrow morning for the CEO Series race of the Sepang 500, first round of the Hololive GT3 Japan CEO Series. We'll see you tomorrow morning. And with that being said, take care everyone, and we'll see you tomorrow.